Next up on the Ron Johnson Show is the part of the show I love. It's the Daily Three. It's 3 questions, 3 minutes each. Take it away, Sam.
Ron, what's your favorite nickname for Rudy Gobert? Is it the Stifle Tower or the French Rejection? Because he was introduced yesterday. I don't know. I think I like Stifle Tower. What do you think?
Stifle Tower probably sounds a little bit better. French Rejection just doesn't sound. It just sounds like a bad French date. Like, I don't know. It just does not sound. Yeah. I'll go with Stifle Tower.
Well, they rolled out the red carpet for Rudy Gobert. They had the big press conference. They've got all the social media on him. Here's my favorite quote from yesterday. This actually came from Chris Finch, the coach, when asked about how they're going to handle the playoffs with this huge lineup. Everyone's playing small ball. The Wolves are going to be big. Finch says, certainly teams tend to go small in the playoffs, but we're not. We're not doing that. We're going to have to figure out a way that all these things work. Ron, how is this going to work out? If Chris Finch is true to his word, can the Wolves win in the playoffs with the colossal front court that they have?
So this is the thing I'll say. Sometimes what's old is new. So if you go back to David Robinson and what's his name, Tim Duncan, if you go with Akeem Olajuwon, when they tried it with Ralph Sampson, like teams have tried it before. Teams have tried it and they've won. But when you look at back then, it was about the big. It was about who can help out, who can. Like, how can I get 2 big guys in the game at the same time? When you think about, I guess Blake Griffin's not a big per se, but, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, having 2 bigger guys that are going to put their back to the basket, give you some posts, give you some outside shooting. That's kind of been a formula that's worked per se. When you think about Porzingis, when they originally got him to the Mavs and all this other stuff, like that's the thought behind a lot of these moves teams make. Now, sometimes it works. And this is what the Timberwolves are going to have to do. When you first said that, 2 things came to my mind. The quote from Dodgeball. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if it works out for them. And then the other one was from Taken. When the French, I don't know what he was, the guy, Russian or whatever. Rejection? No, the Russian guy in Taken. Yeah. When Liam Neeson calls him and says, I got a specific set of skills, blah, blah, he's like, good luck. Like that's what I feel like. When Chris French made that comment, I'm like, good luck. Like when they go small ball, this is the thing you're doing. You're going to end up trading 2s for 3s. And so I do agree with that. Like when the team goes small, you have to go, like if you're going to go big, you got to take advantage of your bigs and really go at them. Really try to put it in, put your back to the basket, because a dunk, a layup, and a quick short shot is a higher percentage shot than a 3. So when people talk about trading 2s for 3s with the Warriors, that's always been the biggest knock. But the problem is if you look at what they are for the game, they're probably about 30 to 40% for the game. Sometimes even in the 20s when Steph Curry is not on. They're in the 20s. If you can be 80 to 90 from where you're taking your shots from, you probably win that game. And you put the pressure on them to now feel like every 3 they take has to go down versus because you're taking 3s, you're missing. So they come down with confidence. They knock a 3 down. I think that's the key. Somebody else I heard today on the radio tried to bring up like, oh, think about all the times they double team Cat and he dumped it down to Jared Vanderbilt. Now he can dump it down to Rudy Gobert. It's the same thing. Like you're not getting anything different. The big difference in Gobert was defense. I think defense is where he's going to add and take pressure off Cat. It's not offense. The double team can still happen on Cat because Gobert is not like an offensive juggernaut where you're like, oh my God, we got to make sure we are on Gobert. Like, no, that's not his game. His game is defense. He's going to dunk. He's going to get alley-oops and put them in whenever the guards go to the lane. If you toss it up, he'll take it. He'll get putbacks. He's a big rebounder. He carves out space. He hustles. He does the dirty work that a lot of bigs you hope will do. He also has pretty decent footwork if he gets caught in a mismatch when they try to run that pick in the high play where they keep the guard up top where Steph Curry wants Gobert. We've seen Gobert go at Steph on defense and kind of try to close out that space. But this is the thing, like at the end of the day, again, I go back to good luck. Like if you're going to stay big, even against small lineups, hopefully you have a game plan that you can stick to, because the one thing about game plans, everybody has one. And I love Mike Tyson's quote. Everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. Once you get punched in the mouth, what are you going to do? His was like, look, I've taken punches to the mouth and I'm going to still keep coming at you. Some people can't take that punch and they just get disoriented. They start jacking up threes. They start doing all kinds of stuff that's out of their minds. Hey, you are not a point guard, Rudy Gobert. Stop bringing the ball up the court. Like, people lose their minds when they get punched in the mouth. And so that's what I hope, is that when they take this first couple punches, if they're playing big versus small lineup and this team's knocked down a couple threes, they don't just lose focus and start, Cat starts jacking up threes from the logo. Like, they still have to calm down, play their game, and slowly get back into this game with some twos, maybe a three if it's there. But if you're going to play big, take advantage of it. Because if you're still going to play a normal style of small ball type basketball with two bigs, then you're not doing what you got the team to do. That's just my thought, Sam. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think the best point there is that the Vanderbilt exchange for Gobert. Like, there's nothing more frustrating than when you're watching a team and they can't get a defensive rebound. Like, there were a couple games where the Grizzlies were just killing them on the offensive glass. So if the trade-off is you're going to not close out on a few three-point shooters in exchange for you're going to get the rebounds and you're not going to give up second chances, I'm okay with that exchange, because it was so frustrating because the Wolves were just so undersized that they couldn't get rebounds. They couldn't end possessions. And that to me is what will not happen with Rudy Gobert on the team.
Yeah.
I've got an over-under for you, Ron. Dalvin Cook's rushing prop is available in Vegas and other sports books. Here's the number. 1,150.5 yards is the over-under for Dalvin Cook this year. Are you hammering the over or the under? When you go to the Bellagio or Caesars, Ron, are you going to the sports window and are you putting your mortgage on the over or the under?
I'm going under. I'm going under on that because I think he's going to be more of a dual threat back. I think he will get 1,000 yards, but I think he's going to be more of a dual threat where you're going to see 600 to 700 passing yards to Dalvin Cook if he can make this is the thing. He has to make the catches first. But I think they're going to go with a heavy pass balance, run balance, 1,000-yard running back, but maybe a 600 to 700 yard receiving back. And I think that's kind of the key. Is I just don't know if it's going to be a ground and pound nonstop. You're going to have a Alexander Madison coming in as well. I mean, you're gonna see them try to keep Dalvin Cook fresh, and I just think it's the under.
All right, last 3 years, Dalvin Cook has played 14, 14, and 13 games. So let's say he plays 14 games. What does he need to average on the ground to get to that number? Well, do the quick math, 82 yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he can do that because he's going to have a couple games, Ron, not every game, but he's going to have a couple where he gets 150, and he makes that average so much more attainable. I'm going to take the over on that because I think he's going to be really efficient on the ground this year.